AM 1460, the new WXBR. You are listening to the Metro South Morning Show. Peter Czymbor here with you this morning. In 2009, my next guest was thought to have floated into the atmosphere of Colorado in a helium balloon as a part of a home science experiment that had gone wrong. However, it turned out he was not in the balloon and was grounded and safe the entire time. The whole ordeal was broadcast nationwide on national TV through the realms of broadcast cable news networks. Now, almost 5 years later, he, along with his brothers, is a part of a heavy metal band billed as the world's youngest metal band. They're the Heene Boyz, and right now we welcome a youngster known throughout the world collectively as a part of pop culture as Balloon Boy, but we'll call him by his actual name, Falcon Heene. Falky, good morning and welcome to the program. How are you doing today? You sound very metal already, Falcon. You're the bass player and the vocalist in this band, the Heene Boyz. Tell us exactly how the band came to a formation, because last time much of the public saw you, you were simply a little kid that probably couldn't hold a guitar or a bass, let alone play one. So how did you get involved?
It all started because my brother Bradford, he saw my mom playing Breaking the Law. It's a song by Judas Priest. It's an awesome song. It's on an album called British Metal. And anyways, my brother said that was pretty cool. So he asked my mom, "Hey, can you teach me some of that?" So after my brother learned a couple of riffs, he's like, "Hey, I want to buy my own guitar." So later, I think at his birthday, we got him a guitar. And I looked at it and I got jealous. I was like, "Oh, I want a guitar too." So then we bought me a black Squire. Brad had a red Squire. They're awesome. They're like dynamic duos. So and then my brother Rio, he was just, "Hey, can I guys join?" Right? So my dad bought us a little drum set. Like it was like a starter's kit, like really small. So we just messed around. Rio liked it the most. So we're like, "Hey guys, we should start a band." I was like, "Oh, awesome." Well, thinking like, what could it be? Like, hey, our last name sounds cool.
So your brother heard your mom playing Breaking the Law from Judas Priest, inspired him to pick up an instrument, start playing heavy metal, and the rest of the boys followed suit. At what point did you guys get good enough where you thought, collectively, we can play a band, it's not going to sound terrible, we can play in public in front of crowds, and actually sound cool and not embarrass ourselves?
About 2 years after we kept messing around. And then later after, actually, we were like, hey, if we are going to start a band, we just can't have two guitarists and drop out a bassist. We need a bassist. So they traded my guitar, we traded my guitar in for a bass, and it's awesome now.
So you actually started out playing a regular 6-string guitar, but now you're the bass player in the band.
Yeah.
And you also sing vocals in the band as well, correct?
Mm-hmm.
I find it to be difficult to play guitar and sing as a beginner, let alone play bass and sing. How long did it take for you to acquire that skill?
Well, it's actually really easy. It's just that as you're singing, if you have a long note, it sort of actually does give you time to think about what you're playing on your bass. Sometimes you would mess up here and then, but then you can fix it.
I think that aspiring bass players and singers should take that advice to heart. Once again, we're chatting with Falcon Heene here on AM 1460, the new WXBR, a part of the metal band, the Heene Boyz, but well known through the infamous moment in pop culture known as Balloon Boy. Let me ask you this, Falcon. When you are playing shows in and around Florida, which is where you now live, do people recognize you? Do they recognize the name? Obviously, you don't look like the kid that we saw almost 5 years ago who we thought was in that helium balloon, but do people ever come up to you and say, "Are you Balloon Boy?" and how do they react?
Well, sometimes they're like really amazed for some reason, and then once they find out about our band, they're like, "Oh, you guys have a band? That's awesome!"
Do you think that it helps your band or hurts your band that you are a part of this huge moment in news coverage history where everyone thought that you were in a helium balloon that had floated across the sky of Colorado? Does it help or hurt the band that that's the first thing they think of when they see you or hear about your name?
I don't know.
You don't know? Do you think that you're able to, well, let's just say that they're watching the set and they're like, "Hey, that's Balloon Boy playing in a metal band. Oh, this is a gimmick." Do you think that you win them over after they hear you play? Do you think that you can win the crowds over with your pure metal awesomeness?
And after that, we're like, "Yeah!" And, like, we'll all tell them to go to HeeneBoyz.com.
HeeneBoyz.com. We'll mention that. That's Heene Boyz, BOYZ.com. That is the official website for the Heene Boyz metal band. We're chatting with Falcon Heene of the Heene Boyz metal band. Balloon Boy here on AM 1460, the new WXBR. Now, in a lot of the videos, or in some of the videos I've seen on your official YouTube channel, you guys are well represented in the realms of social media. It looks like you guys are able to make enough money doing this that I think that a lot of metal bands who are significantly older than you would aspire to have. How much money are you guys raking in per performance and throughout the course of, say, a few months?
Maybe sometimes about 200 per gig and like 400 around there. But one time off of tips and T-shirt sales and everything, all the money we made in one night was like 700.
Falcon, how old are you?
Wait, what?
How old are you at this point? Are you 14 years old?
No, 11.
11. So how old were you when the incident happened in Colorado?
6.
So you're 11 years old now. When I was 11 years old, I was raking leaves and mowing lawns for extra spare change on the weekends. You're telling me that you and your brothers have made upwards of $700 playing rock and roll and selling your music and merchandise at the show?
Yeah.
That's the American dream, my friend. You're living a rock and roll lifestyle that a lot of upstart bands in their 20s would want, and you're only 11 years old. You must feel pretty cool on stage doing this.
Yeah. Would you like to hear a sample of my singing?
Excuse me?
Would you like to hear a sample of my singing?
I would love to hear a sample of your singing. What song are you going to perform for us? Is it a Heene Boyz original or is it a cover?
Well, actually, I'm not going to really, I'm just going to give it like a sample. So would you like to hear it?
I would love to hear a sample of your singing. Falcon Heene, the Balloon Boy, singing some heavy metal for us here in WXBR. Falcon, take it away, my friend.
Chasing tornadoes tomorrow. And I feel the pain and sorrow.
That was very impressive, Falcon. Falcon, what song was that?
That's Chasing Tornadoes. It was our first album.
So that was a Heene Boyz original off your first album. You mentioned earlier that you're a big Judas Priest fan, you and your brothers. Can you sing anything from Judas Priest for us? Give us a little sample of that here on WXBR this morning.
Yeah.
All right, I'd love to hear it.
There I was completely wasting, out of walking down. All inside is so frustrating as I'm drifting from town to town. Feels as though nobody cares if I live or die. So I might as well begin to put some action in my life. Breaking the law, 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 breaking the law.
Was that Rob Halford on the phone, or is that still you, Falcon?
It's still me.
It's still you. Falcon Heene joining us here on AM 1460, the new WXBR, talking to us about the Heene Boyz metal band. Falcon, of course, the infamous Balloon Boy from 2009. Let's go back to that day a little bit. I know you've talked about it to death, but I still think that it's a large narrative in the story of your life to this point. People are very interested. People heard a lot from your parents during that time, and you sat by them during some interviews. From your perspective, what exactly happened on that day when the whole world watched on television as they thought you were in a helium balloon going across the sky?
Wait, can you repeat that?
What exactly happened on that day that the flying saucer, if you will, came about, and we all thought you were in it?
Well, on that day, what would happen is that we were making this UFO. I actually thought it was really cool. Wait, what? Oh, yeah, I thought it was pretty cool, and I kept going in it. And my dad told me to get out, but I didn't listen, so he yelled at me, and I got a little scared. So I just went inside and hid in the attic, because it's just me.
So they thought you were in the balloon, and it flew into the sky, and before long, everybody was watching cable television, and we thought you were in a helium balloon thousands and thousands of feet above the earth and going, oh, my God, there's some little kid in there. This is before Twitter or Facebook had really taken off. Facebook was around. Twitter really wasn't. And everyone's calling each other going, are you watching what I'm watching? How long before you realized what a pop culture phenomenon you had become after the event?
Oh, well, actually, we don't watch TV that much unless it's like the cartoons. We like watching cartoons.
Okay, so you had not realized the impact that you had on the world as being known as Balloon Boy at the time.
No, not really.
Now, Falcon, you seem very comfortable chatting with me here on AM 1460, the new WXBR, and I'm very appreciative that you are very good in speaking with the media and a well-spoken young child. You've had some media experience in your past. You grew up, your family did a few episodes of the TV show Wife Swap that you were a part of, and then after the Balloon Boy incident happened, you were on national television through a few different mediums. Let's talk about a few of them. First off, let's talk about the one that might be the most metal moment of them all, as you're now in a metal band. And I hate to bring this up because I know that it might be a little bit embarrassing for you, but Falcon, it happened. You were on the Today Show, and you puked. Tell us exactly what happened that day.
Oh, well, actually, I'm not really embarrassed with that. That was so funny. Because, since we're on there, they offered us, hey, what ice creams do you want? And they said you guys can name any candy and any ice cream, we'll get it for you. We're like, really? So they gave us, like, a bunch of candy. I thought they were just going to give us, like, little packages of it, but they gave us so much candy and ice cream. It was cool.
So
and then I ate a little too much, and I puked.
So as part of your appearance on the Today Show, they offered you more or less all the ice cream and all the candy you could eat, and you ate more than you possibly could eat, and you got physically ill during the interview and vomited.
Yeah, I should have ate more candy than ice cream, because I was like, oh, my stomach doesn't feel so good. I was like, bleh.
But you don't look back on it with embarrassment at all. You look back at it and say, no, that's funny, that happened, I puked on television, that was great.
Yeah.
Your dad's face at that moment was hysterical, because I know your dad's in the room with you right now, but at that moment he had a look of, oh my God, my son is puking. I think he was sitting on your lap. You were sitting on his lap at the time. Am I mistaken?
I don't remember, but I remember I accidentally puked on Brad.
Let's talk about another famous interview that you did here on a WXBR. Let's talk about the interview with Wolf Blitzer on CNN. You infamously asked the question before the interview, which did not come out till later, who the hell is Wolf Blitzer? Are you familiar with Wolf Blitzer at this point? Do you ever watch Wolf Blitzer's program, or no? You're more of a cartoon guy, you mentioned.
You just keep hearing his name now.
You just keep...
I remember he's Chinese, and he was holding the camera.
Did Wolf Blitzer spoke Chinese?
No.
No.
He spoke very well English.
Wolf Blitzer spoke very good English. Now let's...
No, but wait, let me just clear that. Wolf Blitzer, you're getting the two guys mixed up.
What?
But by the way, I should mention for our listeners, joining us now in the interview is Richard Heene, the father of Falcon Heene. Richie, good morning. How you doing?
Hey, great. Fantastic.
Chinese guy. That's all I remember.
So is he was mixing up Wolf Blitzer with whom, Richard?
Oh, no, he was actually telling you something else.
I thought the guy who was holding the camera who was in our garage was Wolf Blitzer.
No.
No, Wolf Blitzer spoke to you via satellite from the CNN studios. Wolf Blitzer is a TV host for CNN who asked your dad a question who had an earpiece in. Your dad rescinded a question to you. I don't believe you could hear the questions coming from Wolf Blitzer, if I recall correctly. And you uttered the very famous line, "We did this for the show," which allowed a lot of people to feel that the balloon stunt had been a prank, a hoax, and fake, if you will. What do you remember about that interview when you said, "We did this for the show," Falcon?
Well, it wasn't a hoax because I just got scared and I hid. And well, it's common because I kept going in and out of the balloon, and then if I'm missing, then I was in and out of the balloon. That's what my parents thought. But I was actually hiding in the attic because I got scared.
Well, following an investigation from the police in Colorado, where you no longer live, and after that interview, and a lot of people thinking that it was a prank, your parents had to face some punishment, including going to jail. That must have been difficult for you. What exactly do you remember about the months following the Balloon Boy incident, as I guess we'll call it? What do you remember about what happened immediately after this incident in relation to your parents, and I'm sure some scrutiny that your family faced at the time?
Well, when I actually came out, there was like a bunch of people in our house. I was a little freaked out, but...
Who were all these people? Different, people...
Oh, wait on.
You there, Falcon?
What?
Oh, I thought you said hold on. You still there, Falcon?
Yeah, I'm still here.
So what do you remember after all the people left and there was policemen and things like that? What do you remember about your dad? Your dad had to go away for a little time. I know your dad's with you right now, but your dad wasn't with you for a few months afterwards. What do you recall about during that time? Was it difficult for you and your brothers?
It was like really boring because because usually when our dad's around, we help him make stuff. We help him we just help him with all sorts of stuff, and that usually takes up our time, and it's fun. But then when he was gone, there was nothing to do.
But now your dad's back with you, and life is fun for you again.
Yeah.
Now, Falcon, you and your family at the time lived in Colorado. You guys now make your home in Florida. What are the differences between living in Florida and living in Colorado, which is where you lived during the time of the Balloon Boy incident?
Well, the first thing I'm going to say is the difference in temperature is way higher. Way warmer here. I love that. And there's an actual beach here that we could, when we were over there, we never went to any swimming pools or water. Well, I think we did. Sometimes we would get bored, we'd go outside, we would just take a hose, fill a weird bucket up, and we would just dump it on us.
Now, you are currently in, what grade are you in now, Falcon?
5th grade.
5th grade? Did you say 5th or 6th? Now, did you go to school or are you homeschooled?
Homeschooled.
What's your favorite subject and who is it? Your mom and your dad teaching you?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes
we learn off the computers, too.
Oh, very cool. What's your favorite subjects that you learn academically? We know that you're going to the School of Rock with your brothers in this metal band. Tell us about some of your favorite subjects from an academic perspective. Do you like doing math, English, science, things like that? What's your favorite traditional school subject?
Well, I love learning math, and then one of my friends is teaching me German, and I love science. I'd go on YouTube, look up how to make hot ice. Hot ice is this thing if you mix a certain type of chemicals and you put it at a certain type of temperature, then you can pour it and immediately it's like liquid, but right when it hits an object, it freezes.
Well, sounds like you've got the science down. Why are you learning German? You're going to tour with Rammstein or something at some point, Falcon?
Oh yeah, that's cool. Rammstein,
So
my friend told us about it. I only heard at this point one song about them. It goes "Do us." It's you hate me. That's what it means, actually. And then, I actually never knew that, but then he told me that he's teaching me, a lot of German. He's my, German teacher.
Well, once again, we're chatting with Falcon Heene, the Balloon Boy, here on WXBR. Richard, are you still there with Falcon?
Oh, yes, I am,
Richard, do you mind if I direct a question towards you?
Oh, go ahead.
All right, Richard, I know that you did have to enter a plea following this incident, which led to you facing some legal ramifications and going to jail, I believe, for 90 days, and your wife faced some punishment as well. You still maintain to this day, however, that this entire incident was not a hoax, yet you did enter a guilty plea. Tell us exactly the thought process that went into you taking that plea back X amount of years ago when this Balloon Boy incident happened.
Sure. Yeah, my wife and I sat down with our attorney, David Lane, down in Denver, and he said that they've offered a plea bargain, and he said it was his advice to take the plea deal. He said the public opinion was against us, and he said that the chances that you win is going to be slim to none. And then he told me, before I made my decision, to go look up a case in Larimer County. He told me to look up Tim Masters because he was currently suing Larimer County for $10 million because they wrongfully imprisoned Tim Masters. There was a cop there, Lieutenant Broderick, that perjured himself on 48 counts to get this guy put away for 10 years in prison for a murder he never committed. So I went home, I looked it up, and I got it. I get it. They put this guy away for 10 years. They lied on their affidavits. Which is exactly what happened to us. So I said, fine, I'll take the plea deal. And then, of course, we left.
So years later, people have just basically accepted this as fact, as being a hoax for many years. You to this day say that's not the case. I don't believe you were allowed to speak for some time as a result of your punishment that you had to face as a result of this whole ordeal going along. So all these years later, if someone says to you it's a hoax, you just say flat out, that's not true, they're wrong?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing is the media whore sheriff, got in front of the cameras as many times as he could. He came out and basically said we were guilty before any evidence. As a matter of fact, they didn't have any evidence whatsoever. But, and if you notice, he directed the charge back toward him. It was attempting to influence the public official. I didn't know who this guy was. And so basically the charge that they trumped up was it was more of an ego thing toward him. I would have had to premeditate and know this guy to get that kind of a charge, attempting to influence a public official. That's crazy. But anyway, like I said, I get the joke, and fine, I just move on.
Now, you weren't allowed to speak about this for many years. Are you glad that has been lifted at this point and you're allowed to speak freely?
Oh, yeah, definitely. For 4 years, I couldn't say anything. As a matter of fact, I went on the Today Show speaking what was on my mind. I said that they were lying, and then the sheriff and the DA both threatened to withdraw from plea, which would have meant I would have had to go to trial. And again, my attorney said there's no way you're going to find a jury member anywhere that doesn't believe it, to be what they say it was.
In retrospect, do you think that making the appearances on CNN and the Today Show, and even previously being on some reality TV shows, hurt you to some degree?
That I don't know. I never evaluated it. Quite frankly, we don't watch a lot of TV in our household.
Well, once again, we're chatting with Falcon and Richard Heene. Falcon Heene, the balloon boy here on WXBR. This is a family affair outside of the brothers being in the band. Richard, you're actually involved in managing them, right?
That's correct. Yeah, we manage the kids. We set the gigs up. My wife does all the video that you see on YouTube, and she builds the websites, and we do all the marketing. And it was a slow process because I was trying to market some of the inventions I had, and then slowly but surely I spent more time with the boys, and then it's now turned into a full-time process.
So all these years later, with the infamy that your family accrued from the Balloon Boy incident, is it hard for you to have, quote-unquote, a real job, and is this really just a natural progression for you and family, considering that you guys really liked show business to begin with the reality TV shows and whatnot?
Well, I don't know that actually it hasn't affected my ability to go get work. I had to kind of sway into being a handyman. I'm a licensed general contractor in California, but I'm not licensed in Florida, so I had to go to handyman work. It still paid okay, but again, I was pushing some of the inventions I had for some income, and we've kind of pushed all that aside for now because let's face it, your kids are only going to be 11 years in one day or 11 years in 2 days one time, and we thought we'd enjoy every day we could with them.
What are some of the inventions that you've had in the works, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, I had the Heene duty truck transformers. It was a utility box that was self-loaded. Well, it would load itself into the back of a truck in 3 minutes and unload it in equal time. And you could put lumber on it, tools, all kinds of heavy stuff. And we tried to market that out in Vegas at the SEMA show. And then I've had a way to extract ketchup and mustard and mayonnaise out of bottles very quickly. And then we currently sell another product I've got is a bear scratch. It's a back scratcher. It mounts on the wall. And they sell for like $20. So, yeah, it's a pretty good deal.
Well, once again, this has been Richard Heene and Falcon Heene. Falcon Heene, the infamous balloon boy, joining us here on WXBR. The Heene Boyz metal band, their website is HeeneBoyz.com. That's Heene. Heene and Boyz is BOYZ.com. You can find them on various social media forums as well. Falcon, you still with us this morning?
Yeah.
Hey, Falcon, before we go, you've already graced us with your awesome metal singing twice. Can you give us one more song and tell us what song you're going to sing before you do it? Some Black Sabbath, some Dio maybe. Let us know what you want to sing and we'll accept it.
Okay. I'm going to sing Run to the Hills by Iron Maiden.
By Iron Maiden. Okay, Iron Maiden here on WXBR, sung by Falcon Heene. Falcon, go.
Run to the hills, run for your life. Run to the hills, run for your life.
Falcon Heene of the Heene Boyz metal band joining us here on WXBR, perhaps coming to a stage near you soon, HeeneBoyz.com. Falcon and Richard, I thank you so much for joining me this morning. Any final words for our listeners before I let you go?
Yeah, by all means, check out the Heene Boyz at HeeneBoyz.com and check out the YouTube channel, YouTube /Heene Boyz. They've got Facebook, and check them out.
That is Falcon Heene and Richard Heene joining us here on AM 1460, the new WXBR. We are right up against a local news update courtesy of Mike Pava. Stick with us here in the Metro South Morning Show, PM in the AM.